Yes, people, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. As always, people, make sure that you lot are smashing up the likes. Make sure that you lot are subscribing to the channel. Roll to 10K, like I keep saying, people. But listen, we've got a nice panel today. Charlie, it's been a minute since you've been on the channel, man. Big yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You got Jem here, you got Couch here, you got Jimmy here, you got Ads here. We've got a lot to talk into, people, man, because obviously we normally go live Monday, Tuesday, but I've been away, so we've only been able to do it now. But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, man. Like I said in the title, Maresca is going to stay as Chelsea manager from the looks of things. We haven't really spoken about the Newcastle game. We'll get everyone's takes on that as well. And tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? Tomorrow is a very, very important game, but we've got to make sure that we beat these guys. Me and Couch were going back and forth yesterday. Couch said he wants to take it however he wants to take it. You know what I'm saying? Big pulls on that as well, blood. But for me,
massive pause on that. Massive pause.
Not even a minute in, brother. Oh my days.
I didn't even
Oh, Ads. Whoa. Pause on that too.
You man are crazy, bro.
I helped you out. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I want to beat these guys comfortably, bro. You know what I'm saying? I want to beat these guys comfortably because they've got a bigger game next week. They've got nothing to play for. We've got everyone fit, barring Jackson, who's been shit, by the way, this season. We'll speak about him as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm expecting a nice, comfortable win, man. But first of all, man, then what you lot saying, man? You lot good?
Yeah, all good, bro. All good.
Big up, man. We've got 17 people in the house, so definitely be more people coming. Big up everyone that just watched the preview of me and Saeed. We had over 250 people live as well watching. So big yourselves up. But listen, let's talk about the game at the weekend. Listen, I had a fucking mare, bro. I was telling you lot in the group chat. I was at the airport. My flight was meant to be at 8:30 in the morning, yeah? I got the flight at 5:45, bro. 5:45 is when I got on the fucking plane because the IT outage. There was IT outage. So I was there in the queue watching Jackson getting sent off in the queue with people around me, kids around me. I was fuming, bro. So I couldn't even watch the game properly, you know what I'm saying? Because I had all these things going on around me. You know what I mean? But from what I was watching in the first half, I was not happy with that first half, bro. The way we just kept kicking it long. You know what I'm saying? Jackson struggling to hold it up. The ball's coming back. It was a mess. And once again, we conceded another quick goal against Newcastle. I don't know what it is against Newcastle. We love to concede early goals at St. James's Park, bro. It's fucking annoying. You know what I'm saying? Charlie, you were there as well. So I'm sure you were fuming about that first half.
Yeah, no, bro, we lost it in the first half. You know, we went out. There seemed to be no game plan in that first half. It's literally like we went out there and we shit ourselves. Like the players didn't really seem to know what they were doing. We were poor on the ball. Obviously, Lavia gets dispossessed, and then it's such a shit goal to concede as well. I think Challower could probably do a little bit better in that instance as well. But it's almost like we were overwhelmed by the occasion, and we just let the occasion get the better of us. The one thing you don't want to do when you go Newcastle is concede an early goal. You know the fans are up for it. You know the crowd are gonna obviously be massively up for it as well. So that's really the worst thing we could have done. And we didn't really recover from that. First 35, 40 minutes were awful, obviously summed up by Jackson getting sent off. Indefensible on that one. But I do have a feeling that that's less likely to happen if we're not just constantly pinging it long to him and expecting someone who's poor in the air to win aerial duels and hold the ball up against the likes of a Botman and a Scherer or Dan Burn. Like, I'm not defending him, but if we're not doing that and he's not constantly losing every ball that goes up to him, maybe that frustration potentially doesn't happen. But I just thought that for a tactic was weird because it happened way too many times for it just to be Sanchez taking an odd decision here or there to go long. It was every single one. So that must have been something that come from the manager. And I feel like in that first half, there just weren't really a plan from him at all. And that's where we lost it. Obviously, he switches up at the break and that Reece James comes on for Noni and we play a lot better. We have a lot more of the ball in the second half. I think Newcastle were happy to sit off us and drop deep and defend what they had. But we were better on the ball. We were more dangerous. But ultimately, we had no presence in the box and we had a lack of a cutting edge in the final third. But I think I saw enough in that game in the second half to suggest that we can get 6 points from these last two games. But ultimately, mate, we lost that game in the first 35 minutes.
100%, bro. And what's really frustrating for me, Jem, is the way Jackson got sent off so early. Like, you make some really good points, Charlie. I think, Jackson's quite petulant. He's quite immature as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, playing it long to him, he's going to get mad. And, for him to back someone in the face like that, because me and Jimmy were going back and forth about it in the group chat again, where Jim was like, I don't think it was a red. For me, bro, the moment that you look at a man first, before you raise your elbow to go into him when you've got no control of the ball, unfortunately, bro, some referees are gonna see that as a red. He made the ref make a decision there, bro.
So anytime somebody, so let me ask you this.
Go on.
Anytime somebody elbow go into somebody, it's a red then. Or if it hit them in the head.
No, there's context, bro. There's context.
Okay, so if it hit him in the head, right?
No, but he looked at him first, bro. That's the point.
Answer the question. If it hit him in the head, right?
Bro, there's context to this, bro.
It hit him in the head, right?
No, you're missing the context, bro. Because you can
elbow hit him in the head.
Jim, you can hold someone off. Jim, you can hold someone off and elbow them, yeah? Elbow them by accident.
I'm asking a simple question. Did the elbow hit him in the head?
He did.
Okay, why did the elbow hit him in the head?
Because he launched his arm towards him, bro.
Because he didn't jump.
What do you mean because he didn't jump?
So hold on. So it's normal for a defender to stand like this?
Bro,
that's normal?
He was smart, bro. He was smart. You know what I mean? Sometimes football, bro.
So make up your mind. Was he smart or was Jackson dumb? Because now you're telling me he. So he saw the elbow and said, "I'm gonna leave my head here and let him elbow me."
You know how many times footballers will do things like that, bro, to get.
Oh my gosh!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
I don't want to spend 10 minutes on the red card.
But wait, so you telling me in that of a second he thought, "Oh look, elbow. Let me lean my." That's what you think he did?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't, Jim. That's what I'm saying. What he's saying is fucking asinine, bro.
Yeah, but Jim, what I'm saying, the point that
my only point was I didn't. Number one, I said I didn't think it was a red, judging by all the fucking elbows I just watched these last few weeks. You know, like the 10 other people loaded up. That's why. That's one.
That's a problem with inconsistency.
Second, I didn't say what Jackson didn't do. I said the reason why I pulled back my anger because Jackson didn't intentionally do it. That's the context you're missing.
I think he did.
Yes, it's fucked up that it happened, and you're pissed off. You're mad because now you're short a man. But when you look back and see that he didn't intentionally do it, you know when something happened, you didn't intentionally do it. You know what that's called?
Nah, I think he did intend to do it, Jim. I think he did
not intend to do it, bro.
I think he did. He looked at him first, bro. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like I said, that messed everything up because in the second half, Maresca tweets things.
To keep saying he looked at him, it's really. Why would he not look at him? Who doesn't look at what they're about to brace into?
He looked at him first.
He ran forward with his arm like that.
Yes, because he was about to jump.
Bro, he literally, bro.
Let me ask you a question. If he jumped, Don, so we can get over this quick. Let me just.
Your camera's off as well, bro. Don't
worry about that. That's neither here nor there.
I don't want to spend too much time on the red card.
All right, so let's get it over quick.
I don't want to spend too much time.
If Bobman would have jumped like a normal center back, where the elbow would have hit him?
Broski, he looked at him first.
Don, I just asked a question, Don.
Missing, Jim. That's the point you keep missing.
Well, anyway, I'm asking you if he would have jumped.
Just so we can move on from it,
yeah?
Do you guys think it was a red card? The rest of you guys, do you think it was a red card?
Why you don't want to answer my question, bro?
I've already answered it. I've given you my take on it. Go on, Couch.
I think it was a red.
It's a red card. What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's a red.
Did I ever say it wasn't a red? You see what you just did? Because that's not what we're talking about. You said he intentionally did it, Don.
He did intentionally do it, bro. He did.
I'm going to ask you again if he would have jumped where the elbow would have hit him.
Broski, he looked at him first.
Oh, my God, Don. You see why you can't answer that question? I asked you a question.
You're asking me an irrelevant question, bro.
It is relevant because you clearly thought he was going to jump.
You're trying to confuse things, bro, right?
I'm not trying to confuse. No, Don. I'm trying to get you to talk the truth. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. You're trying to deflect.
5 people have all said here was a red card. It's only you that don't think it was a red card.
Did I fucking say it was not a red card?
So what did you say? I don't think he intentionally did it. What we got back and forth about then?
Because you said he intentionally did it, and I said he didn't.
I do believe he intentionally did it.
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes in, yeah.
You know what I mean?
What the fuck are we talking about? You keep saying red card, my nigga. I never said red card.
Jim, your camera's
red card.
If you don't think it was intentional, that's your opinion, bro. If you don't think it was intentional, that's your opinion. For me, it was. Bro, right? Because he was getting frustrated, like what Charlie's saying, yeah? And when Jackson gets frustrated, bro, it's not a good Jackson, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is not a good Jackson, bro. And if you go and talk to this guy, you'll know himself, bro. right? He didn't want to get bullied. Someone came out the other day, some guy called Rahman or something like that. He came out the other day talking about, Jackson got frustrated. He didn't want to get bullied and that. That's what it looked like to me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't look like a dickhead, bro. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to try rough man up. But the way he did it was very stupid, bro. It was very blatant. You know what I'm saying? It was very, very stupid, bro. But like I said, Jem, for me in the second half, I thought the tweaks that Maresca made were very good. For me personally, bro, I think that if we had 11 men, right, with Stuart Jackson on the pitch, or even someone else came on off the bench, George, or whoever it was, yeah, I think we could have come back, bro, and potentially won that game. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think we give Newcastle enough credit in this game for how well they performed in the especially the first 20 minutes, because I just thought the hounding, the shutting down. If you look at the goal they scored, Chalobah's first touch was actually a poor touch, but because Isak was on him so quickly, he had to make that pass quick. So he's played it into Lavia, who we all know is great at receiving the ball, turning and beating his man. But my man received the ball, and as soon as he touched the ball, they were already on him. Like, he didn't even get a moment to even like try to do a little swivel, you know? And it was just how alert and the intent that Newcastle came out was just so, they were on it. And I knew the game for me, and I kept saying it, played out how I thought it would play out, barring the whole Jackson thing and us giving a go away so early. Don't get me wrong, I know we don't start well in games. I've said this for a while. But I knew that they were going to come out and do that. I knew that the pressure was going to be on in the first 20 minutes, and I wanted us to ride the wave. We were riding the wave because it got to 30-odd minutes before Jackson got sent off, and it was still only 1-0. And then there was moments where we started getting the ball. We started getting a little bit more control on the ball. Yes, the first half wasn't a good first half, but you could see that they were slowly like taking a step back, you know, and allowing us a bit more time on the ball. The pressure, the intent weren't there as it was before. And then obviously Jackson goes and does what he's done. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's a red card. There's just nothing more to say and lets the team down, you know. But the second half, the energy and the intent was very, very, very good. I think the substitution of Reece James coming on the pitch changed the game massively. And having Caicedo in the middle was just... Yeah, as you saw, it's just instrumental. And as much as I like him on the right, and I do think it gives us an option, I do think he's so important in the middle that we kind of lose something a little bit still with him not in there. You know, you had Enzo Fernandez a lot further forward again, trying to find them holes and pockets. He had a bit of a struggle. He struggled. He had a struggling game in moments as well, trying to get on the ball and affect it in the way.
You weren't great.
You know, Palmer again. You know, what are we doing here? You know, where was he? You know, you just fucking. But I want to go back to one. There was one thing that really annoyed me in the game. It was when we had 11 men on the pitch, and you know we were trying to use the wings to try and stretch them. You know, a bit later in the first half, because at the beginning we were going through the middle, and I was saying to myself, why are we not playing it out to the width? Well, on the wides, we was trying to break them through the middle. It wasn't working. We got it out to Neto. We got it out to Madueke. Then there was one moment where Madueke beats his man off the left, and he whips this beautiful ball in, and Jackson's just fucking hovering in the box, not even like making the intent to get there. And like, you know, it was such a good cross as well. Any other striker would have just met that on the head and bang. You know, it could have been. They're the little finer margins in these type of games where it could have been different. Yeah, and this is why having that striker up front is important. So we lost. Hey, was I upset with the overall performance? No. Good second half, good intent. Tried to break them down. You know, just had nothing in the box. There was no one there. There was no one in there. You know, so
yeah, facts. And listen, in that second half as well, bro. You know, you had Reece came on. Obviously, Gusto came on as well. You know, I've been chefing Gusto on his crossing, but that cross for Reece, yeah, that chance that we had towards the end of the game. That's got to be in the back of the net, ads, bro. That's got to be in, man.
Yeah, that was actually a big chance that we had. But again, to echo a lot of the thoughts that have been said by Charlie and Jem, it was such a frustrating start. Given how we played against Liverpool, the form coming into that, obviously Fulham, Everton, like before we at least had some momentum to be like, okay, we're gonna come here, and it's a tough arena to go to, one of the toughest places to go to for any team in the league. But to perform like how we did for the first 25, 30 minutes, well, really the first 20 minutes, let me say. It was appalling. And that's our best team. Like, that's who was missing from that team that we can complain about. Okay, Fofana, that's really it. That's our best team.
Madrid.
Them, okay, good one. But no, other than Fofana, that's it. That's our best team. So, like, for the fact that we got outplayed like that by Newcastle, who, again, missing Jolinton, other than Jolinton and Hall, that's pretty much their best team too. But to get outplayed like that was not a good sign. Super frustrated with Lavia in that position, and I was even saying it with friends before as well. Like just after the Liverpool game, is that Lavia is he's such a specialist in those areas, getting the ball, receiving it, being able to play out of danger. But we're gonna have to accept that every now and then he might lose it, and we might concede a goal from it, maybe.
Now what he did against Bournemouth, bruv. Yeah,
Bournemouth, even Leicester away, it cost us a goal, but we won that game 2-1 away anyways. But like it happens every now and then, which is unfortunate. But again, for a player of his quality, I can let it slide every now and then. But that really set us back, and I don't know if that was why we started playing long. But I feel like I have to agree with what Charlie said, that it must have been the manager's tactic for us to play direct, because we were looking to do it all the time, and it just didn't work. Like we weren't even timing proper runs in behind to stretch them in behind. Every time we went up to Jackson, it was a waste of time. So it was just an appalling tactical performance for us first half. Hated it completely, but then at least we're in the game. It was like Jem was saying, we were like at least in the game. We were kind of riding away. Maybe we can change something up second half. But then Jackson goes and throws the whole game away. And I mean, it's funny, Don, you said you wanted to get out of your club, you said, which I find interesting. Yeah. But for me, Jackson,
No, I never said get him out of the club. I never said that. I said I wanted to drop his ass. I wanted to drop his ass.
Sell Jackson?
No, I don't want to sell him. I'll keep him as a squad player. But what I've been saying for time is I would drop this guy from time, bro.
No, we got no one.
Okay, well, I mean, I hear that. Listen, if we had the option to do it, then obviously we could have dropped him. And I feel like I found it hard to get angry at Jackson this season, because like I know he's not meant to be the number 9 at the Chelsea Football Club, the only number 9. It doesn't make sense. So more of the frustration is still at the board and the directors. However, his performances have been shit. And then to go and throw your team under the bus like that in a big game like this, again, it's just such petulance. And it's not really a surprise. We know he's like that. But we also know this team is like that. Again, we have the most yellow cards in the league this season. Back-to-back seasons, that is, by the way. So with Poch and Maresca, we get the most yellow cards. So it's just not really no surprise that again in a big game, we fail to win and we lose. Again, away from home, we've lost all the big games. Other than, I mean, I don't know if you count United as a big game. I don't really. So Etihad, L. Emirates, L. Anfield, L. I don't count Tottenham. These men are 16 or 17 in the league. I don't count them. And Tottenham, we always win.
Beat Liverpool.
United, but again, every other big team, look at it. St. James's Park, even Villa Park, L2. Like, we've lost against all the big teams away from home. And some of them were good performances, don't get me wrong. Some of them were good performances. But at the end of the day, there's a common trend that this team is petulant. They give away cheap goals at the back. And even though I was proud of the second half performance, it felt like vintage Chelsea. Some of the old school Chelsea teams that I've seen put in really doggy performances when they're down to 10 men or in adverse situations. That was great. The first two thirds of that was great. The defense was really good. The centre back stepped up. They had a really good game under some serious pressure. So big up them. The midfield down to 10 men, fair play. They stepped up too. Yes, Charlie's right. They probably were comfortable sitting off the ball, but we still popped it really good. But then the final third, the end product, it wasn't there. And again, you have to look at Cole Palmer. Again, another big game, and he didn't really turn up and give us that bit of quality that you want from him. And listen, you can say it's tough situations, down to 10 men, Newcastle, no striker, which again, Maresca, he did great second half, but you got to at least bring on George. Give us at least a focal point up front. But despite that, listen, over a whole season, Cole Palmer, I love the guy, great player, one big game performance in the whole season, and that was Liverpool. Again, people want to say Tottenham, whatever, cool. I leave Tottenham to one side because we always beat Tottenham. Aside from them, Liverpool at home, that's it. And listen, I love Palmer, but that is unacceptable. And again, you look at the rest of the attack. Was I expecting Neto to give me great quality? No, he was good. I'll give him credit. He was good, but again, are we gonna get top end quality that's gonna win us a game, change a moment? Very unlikely from Neto. Sancho came on, decent impact, but again, am I expecting end product and quality to like win us a game or get us back in it? No. And then we're relying on Cucurella to hold down the whole left-hand side. It's like the whole team is kind of been based on Jackson and Palmer to carry the attack. Jackson's been missing for half the season, and Palmer in big games hasn't been doing it. So it's super frustrating, man.
But that's when you look at the amount of chances we've missed. I think we've missed the second most big chances in the league. I think like 69 it is or something. We've missed big chances.
Yeah, we have.
That's why I find it so hard to take people seriously who put all the blame on the manager. Like, if you signed someone who could score, not even all, like, let's say we converted less than half. Let's say we converted 30 of those 69 big chances. We wouldn't be where we are. Yeah. We wouldn't be talking about us needing to win the last two games to qualify for the Champions League. So I'm not saying the manager is blameless, but when you look at the statistics and the numbers, right, which show how many chances we've missed, how can you blame the manager for those missed chances? We're creating so many chances. Remember back to Crystal Palace at the start of the year. missing loads of chances. There's been so many games where we've missed so many chances. Aston Villa away. If Palmer scores that, we don't lose that game. Like all these things, and it comes down to a recruitment issue. You have better quality, you take those chances, and we're not in this situation, which is a frustrating thing because we're basically in this situation off our own fault.
100%. I'm gonna let Jimmy come into this as well, because this is something that me and him have definitely agreed on many times this season, right? When people are trying to, blame everything on Maresca and all these missed chances. Look at this, for example, So this came out yesterday. Big chance conversion rates among the strikers in the Prem this season, right? This is 20 plus chances, So Nicholas Jackson right now, factually, is the worst converting striker in the league with 26.9%. Then you've got Ollie Watkins. Then you've got Kai Havertz, right? Who's even got a better conversion rate than this guy. And we all know how bad Havertz was for us, and Jackson has been worse, right? Then if you look at the best, you've got Chris Wood, big up ads on that one. You've got Wisa, 51.6%. And then you've got Alexander Isak. And it's funny as well, Jim, because I was going back and forth with Dan Potts and that in the group chat that we've got, Race for Europe group chat, Because I said to Potts, I said, bro, swap Isak and Jackson round. Newcastle are below us, bro. We've got a better. We've conceded less goals than these guys. Our midfield has been better than these guys. We've had more chances than these guys, right? But the difference between Newcastle and Chelsea right now is our striker. Their striker converts their chances, whereas ours doesn't like to score goals, bro. He has scored 10 goals this season, 5 less than last year, and he has missed 19 big chances, Jim. 19, right? So when people are just like, oh, get rid of Maresca and that, I'm like, bro, you can't put it all on Maresca. I was even saying this about Poch. But the difference with Poch, man had us leaking goals for fun every single season, bro. Every single game, sorry. Leaking goals for fun. This guy has managed to bring these guys that get chefed all the time to have the third best defense in the league right now, bro. You know what I'm saying, Jim? What are you saying about Maresca staying on, man? Do you think he deserves more time, Jim?
That's a given. Like, unless he totally just fucks over these last 2 games and the final, then I don't know about that. But I mean, I've been saying this shit all year. You know what I mean? Yeah, I haven't changed my tune none at all. Our biggest problem is striker. I believe striker is solved. If we get a decent striker, it solves 75-80% of our problems. Because goals win games. I always say that. I had an argument with you and Couch. That's all of y'all. I keep saying our defense is nowhere as bad. Y'all try to give me all these other stats, this, and that. Blah, blah, blah. And what did I say? Why I love math. Because math don't have feelings. If you have this many goals and that many goals, and you have a lot of goals scored and a little bit of goals allowed, you're probably going to be a winning team. I keep saying it. 80% of our problem is striker. That's why whenever we have these discussions about what we're going to bring in, the other day when I was talking about Rodrygo for 80 million, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. No, that's fucking crazy. We don't need that. It's to me, it's fucking, for us to be even thinking about a winger right now shows me that I can just lock in and get comfortable for next year being just like this year. That was another thing that I came on today's show to announce. I'm telling y'all from now, when you ask me what's my expectation for next year, is to be just like this year. I don't give a fuck who we bring in, because these guys do not know how to build a team. They don't. They just don't. They keep proving it over and over and over. They don't know how to build a team. If we bring in another winger, it's dumb. I'm done. If we even think about signing another midfielder, I'm even more done. I could work with them bringing back Petrovic and giving Petrovic a try. I have no problem with that. That is the one that I will let ride, because for whatever reason, Chelsea fans don't ever believe their own players could get better. Just everybody else players.
Listen, I agree with most of what you said there, Jimmy. Like, I like a striker does solve the majority of our problems. Like, we've seen it. Like, we lack finishing instincts up front. Also, we've had a Bozo at the back in goal as well, giving away a lot of goals. So, like, those 2 areas of the pitch, the boxes are so crucial. And we've seen all the stats this season on our midfield. Our midfield's been quality. But just because people want a winger doesn't mean that we don't want to still prioritize a striker. Of course, you want the striker, but like you look at the front three. Wait, no, let me land. My point is that, like, you look at Liverpool, you look at City, when they're in their pomp, like they're not just relying on one person to get goals. Like they have a front three that gets you goals. And obviously, we want to get a striker who's going to get a lot of the goals. That's great. None of these numbers might go up next season. Maybe Neto's too. We can see what Esteban does. But like at the same time, you look at our winger options. They're not looking like they're going to be great in terms of getting us goals and adding it. And I feel like right now with our attack, how much chances we create, why not have an extra attacker in there who can get you goals and assists? Because right now, these wingers, they're not producing crazy numbers like that.
A goal-scoring winger, right?
Yeah, but at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, again, I don't want to make it a Rodrygo conversation because that can happen in the summer. But again, somebody like him, that's a guarantee of quality that we don't see right now on our wing.
If you ask,
what cost?
that's what I'm saying. You make a good point there. You're saying at what cost, right? If it means that we don't bring in a striker or we cheap out on a striker, if we cheap out on a striker or we don't bring in a striker because you want to go spend the money on the winger, then it's a problem, Jim. Right?
But hold on. But let's not even do that. We know if you spending that much money on a winger, it gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah, but Jim, there's going to be a lot of people getting shifted. There's still going to be a lot of people.
But hear what I'm saying.
This is why we need to make Champions League as well.
I understand that, but now, listen what I'm saying. If you're talking about spending almost 80 million on one player, that's an attacker, that's not the striker, that's not a center back. I just can't get with that. I can't.
Yeah, but Jimmy, very simple question. Do you not think Jimmy, simple question. Do you not think we can afford to pay 250 million this window? You think we can't afford to do that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we could do that. But here's what I'm saying is that we're looking at we're clearly looking at who they're talking about bringing in as strikers. It's you can file all their names in the who the fuck is this file cabinet. All of them. Sesko, fucking but not all of those, Delap, all of those guys. Like, I'd rather us go get Osihmen and pay his wages than go get Sesko, one of them, with Rodrygo. I don't.
But Jimmy, you just agreed with me. You just agreed that 250 million is what we can afford to pay. And for me, I'm saying if we spend 250 million, there's enough price, there's enough money there to get a striker, to get a centre back. You said that Petrovic is going to be trusted. That's fine. That saves us money on a goalkeeper. There's enough money there after a centre back and a striker to go and get a winger too. Again, we're going to get a midfielder in Santos for free. We're going to get Esteban in for free. You might need to go and get a backup for Palmer in the 10, which is going to be cheap money. There's money there for a left winger if we want to spend it.
Bro, there's the Club World Cup. There's Champions League if we get it, right? There's money. There's money, bro. There's going to be money.
These owners spend a lot of money. We can't like the Arsenal or the Glazers. They spend money.
My problem is not.
I'll be honest with you. I am.
It's just once again we going in the market, and I just see us doing the same garbage.
No, but I agree with
the same trash we're about to do.
Go on, Jimmy.
Fucking garbage.
I agree with you, and I will say that in this situation, I agree with Jimmy. I think that this window is, for me specifically, one of the most, if anything, the most important window in terms of what we're going to do moving forward for me, because you can't not get a striker. We will get a striker. That's not the problem here. It's not about we're not going to get one. It's who we're going to get. That's the problem. Yeah. Because what Jimmy's saying's right. If you're going to go and get me Delap and then just get a winger, I've got a problem. I have got a problem with that.
You're going to be right back here next year.
You ain't solving my issue. My issue is getting a bagsman, someone that's going to put the ball in the fucking back of the net when we're creating 34 shots on target in a game. I need
at the same time, Jim, to look at the other side. Like I said, for me, this is what I'm saying, people. Yeah, for me, I only want Delap as a backup. But let's say that was to happen, bro. Delap scored 12 goals playing for fucking Ipswich, bro. Right? He's one of the best converting strikers in the league. Right, so imagine what he would do.
Just saw the best conversion. He wasn't up there.
You know what I'm saying? He's not up there, but for playing for a team like Ipswich, bro, and scoring 12 goals is not a joke.
Yeah, look, I'm tired of big fish. Small.
Is he a bagsman?
I'm tired of that. I'm tired
of that. I'm looking at the other side.
I just need a proven bagsman, bro. He's still a what if. I just want to go. I hear it. Like Osihmen went over there and broke the fucking record for most goals scored by a foreign player. Like he's still a bagsman. He's scoring, bro. Just go get Osihmen.
If you're going to spend
a week, just pay it. It's not like you're paying everybody that.
If you're going to spend 80, 90, whatever million on that specific position, it would make no sense going to get, from what I'm hearing, a Sesko, which is going to cost you 60, 70 million, when you're hearing that Gyökeres is about the same anyway, or Victor Osihmen For
But
example,
nobody here saying get Sesko at the lap. We all want an Osihmen, a Gyökeres. If Isak was available, we want that caliber of striker. Nobody's here saying the lap Sesko or some shit like that. No. It's clear that right now that the project's at a point now where we can afford to go and pay for top caliber players. But we're done with the whole 19, 20-year-old stuff. We need man who are in their prime now to go and do the job. It's simple.
If they go out and get Rodrygo, then I'm throwing in next season because that means they're gonna go get a shit striker.
But you'd be that upset that they bought a proven winner. You'd be that upset.
I'll be upset that we didn't solve our problem. Rodrygo is not solving our problem.
But I'm saying that we can get Rodrygo and Gyökeres or Osihmen. That's very possible.
I don't think so.
Couch, what do you think about this, bro? Because obviously,
That's what I don't have faith in.
with these owners, we know that they love the word market opportunities, innit? And like for me, when it comes to market opportunities, bro, there's no better market opportunity than a guy like Rodrygo if he comes available, bro. Because everyone knows my thoughts when it comes to left wingers, right? I'm looking in the market. There's no one that really stands out to me apart from KK and Rodrygo, bro, right? So if Rodrygo is a possibility, right? Do you think that Chelsea should be in for him like someone like a Rodrygo? Would you want to focus mainly on the striker, would you say, bro?
Well, I mean, there's so many ways of looking at it. Like, obviously, Rodrygo's talented. He's a guy that we could add into the side and will provide goals, assists, dynamism. But it's not what we need right now. Like, I think we've all been on record to say that what we need, like if we get a striker, I think the wing position will take care of itself. Like if we can get a striker that can carve up space in the box, finish, then the likes of Noni Madueke will have more space, Neto will have more space, all those guys, and you'll see improved numbers from them based on the fact that we have a striker who center backs have to take account for. We just don't have that right now. So if it comes down to, prioritizing, and the priority is bringing in a top level striker, which I don't think exists in this market, to be honest with you. I don't think there is one. Then yeah, that's what you have to go. You have to go with that. Like you can't continually put hundreds of millions of dollars into wingers when the problem is striker. It's just that simple.
No, I hear it, bro. How about you, Charlie? Do you trust Charlie? Let me ask you a question, Charlie. Right? Actually, let me ask you, Jem, because I'll ask Charlie. Do you trust Madueke, having Madueke left wing and Sancho left wing, right? Because for me, these two, when I look at them, they're squad players. I don't look at them as starters. I look at them as squad players. I want someone else starting ahead of them, like a Rodrygo, who goes straight into our 11 for me, right? Do you trust these guys to basically be the left winger options with a George, for example, to take us to the next level next season, bro?
No. With the greatest of respects, and as you say, bro, they are those guys should be squad players, really. If you look at how we've built successful squads in the past, when you had Duff, Joe Cole, Robin, Wright Phillips back in the day when they were decent, Madueke, Sancho, good players, but they should be rotation options. These should be guys that you're starting in cup games or guys that are coming on with 15, 20, half an hour to go or whatever. These shouldn't be guys that you're hanging your hat on to perform for the team week in, week out, which is why when I see us linked to players like Gittins, to players like Garnacho and things like that, I'm thinking, why are you linked with players that could cost you 40, 50, 60 million quid that aren't any better than what we've already got? If we're not going to sign someone in a wide area who is already better than what we've got, I'm not interested in us signing a winger. Facts. If you're going to go and get if a Rodrygo was available and you could get him, he's better than anything we've got, and he goes straight into the first team and he improves the team. I would be on board with it. So for me, I haven't got an issue with signing players in a wide area, but it's got to be significantly better than what we've already got. Because if we're signing a Gittins or a Garnacho, I'd rather just forget that and just give George the minutes, because I don't think either of them are significantly better than Tyreek George.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing on this Rodrygo thing? Because it keeps saying Rodrygo, right? I think he's a very talented player, right? From what I've seen of him, I think he's very good, right? But you guys want to spend £80 million on a winger that's better than Madueke and that and whatever. But his best goal scorer in the season is 10 goals in La Liga. He's not scored more than 10 goals in the Liga in 30.
And I watch him play for Brazil, and his name looked like his name should be Rodney.
Don't get me wrong.
When he
He's
plays
a
for
good
Brazil,
player.
You know, she be Rodney.
his name is Rodney. When
He's
he
a good
plays for
player,
Brazil.
but he's not no. What I'm getting at, it's not no like we're saying we're going to spend 80 million on this winger who is a good player, but he's not no Mo Salah who's scoring 20, 30 goals a season. He
Well,
scored
there's not
10
any
goals in
of-
his
there's not
best
any of
season
them.
for Real Madrid. Not we
There's
doing
not-
it. He's not.
Is your thing then, Jem, that you feel that Rodrygo's a little bit overrated then?
Of course.
No, I like
I've been saying
Rodrygo. I think Rodrygo's a good player, but the way that we're explaining him and how he's going to affect our team is that he's going to come in and he's going to score all these goals that we need from the wing. But he scored 10 in 30 games. That's
He
his
hasn't
best
even
season.
proven to do that.
That's 10. That's 10
So,
goals.
Tim, I say it all the
So
time.
we're gonna just not count the Champions League goals this guy has scored. We're not gonna count the big games this guy's won of a Champions League side.
One
I'm
against
talking
us
about
as well.
the
You know how
many
league.
big
I'm
games
talking about
Origi
the
scored
right
in?
now. Talking about in the league where you play 30 odd games a season.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but the
come
thing
on, like, that's
the thing that
week.
people but I need to say this. Like the people misconstrue this a lot about Rodrygo. Man is not a right winger. He plays good there, but he's not a right winger. It's unfortunate for him that he's left wing. He's left at club and country. He's left the left winger there is Vinicius. He's I guess a bit better than him. It is what it is, isn't it? But the same thing with Willian. When Willian was at Shakhtar Donetsk, he was cooking at left wing, cooking in the 10.
No.
When he came to
So
Chelsea
where have we
and he
seen
bumped
him?
so
Where have
low. So you have to. So it's either right wing or bench. At Brazil,
Where have you seen him on the left wing?
So
One
where
at a time,
have we
man.
seen him cook on the left wing? Because
yeah, I've
he
seen
don't
him
cook
in
on the
moments.
left wing for Brazil. He don't cook on the left wing for Real Madrid.
He's played. He hasn't played a full season. Of course, he hasn't played a full season because there's times where Vinicius has played up front and then Rodrygo played on the left. Especially last season. Last season, one of his better seasons. Obviously, Mbappe came in. It messed up the whole system with their attack. Jude's had a worse season. Rodrygo's had a worse season. Vinicius' last 7 months have been awful. That's the change. But if we're talking about the player's ability, what he can do from left wing is top. And you don't see many players at that level in world football right now. One of them plays for my other club, Australia. I told man about him. We should have got him. We didn't do it. One of the only few players at that level is Rodrygo. He's there in the market.
Wait, Mandem, one at a time.
When you've seen Rodrygo cook on the left to justify, because all we're basing it on is like limited. Yeah, and you're basing it on like limited performances, like 1 and 2 games that you saw him there. And you're like, oh yeah, he can come here and do this job. That it doesn't work like that. Like I want to see somebody. I don't want to see us pay that kind of money for the thought in my head that it might work. This has to work. Okay, it has to work.
Yeah, but when
it's
you
not
look
about
at
like it might
talk
work.
about potential. If you're gonna talk about potential as well, because you know these guys like the young players with the potential and that, right? You can argue that Rodrygo in his preferred position, bro, has the potential to get even better. Right?
That's what I'm trying to get
when he's
away
playing with the likes of Palmer, right? You're talking about a guy that will actually know how to fucking crash the box and has an IQ, has a brain, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And ball striking, which we lack in wide areas.
Yeah. You know what I mean, bro? Let me even read the super chat. Big up Sean for the super chat. It says, if it's Delap/Sesko, Gittins, Gehi window, then kill me. No needle movers. Get me Osihmen and a proven centre-back/goalkeeper. Make or break window. Bro, listen, a lot of people don't want Delap and Sesko, you know, because, listen, Sesko, Delap, these guys, listen, I think they've got a lot of potential in that, but they're not high in my priority list, bro. Personally, for me, Sean, I think Osihmen would be the perfect guy for Chelsea, bro. Like, I think this guy will be perfect for us. The way I see Neto whipping it in, the box movement this guy's got, bro. It's just annoying that he's asking for over 400k a week, bro. That's the only thing. And people just like to come to me and be like, oh, you don't pay him the money like it's your money. Oh, not a single Premier League club wants to pay this guy what he's asking.
If they go with 325, I bet you he go, okay, I'll take it.
Bro, no one wants to pay this guy what he's asking for, Jim. You know, he's asking for what?
I guarantee if they say we got 325, I bet you he'll take it. That Chelsea don't want to pay nobody, man. Fuck out of here. I'm tired of this fucking club.
There's all these clubs in the Prem right now that think this guy's going to Saudi because the money that is asking
for.
Let's
stop acting like the Prem gets shit right. Oh, all these guys in the Prem. Didn't I just hear this is the worst season of the Prem ever? So let's not act like the Prem gets shit right.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making, Jim, is that the money that he's asking for, it's not just Chelsea that think he's not worth that money, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Chelsea that are saying these things, bro.
No one other than Saudi thinks he's worth that money.
Yeah, Saudi, they went and got Tony, bro. They went and got Tony, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And in the
Saudi will pay the money. Saudi will pay him that money, but no one in Europe will pay him that money. So he either goes there for the money that he wants, or he accepts a little bit less money and he comes and plays in the Premier League. It's very simple. It's up to him at the
Why
end of the
doesn't
day.
any other big club want him? What's the? Is it just his wage? No one wants to touch him because there's no one else.
Yeah, the wages seems to be the main hold up. All the time when like people report about Osihmen in the Premier League, the only thing that gets said that the big problem is the wages.
The wages. Literally, and what's fucked it as well for us, is the wages that Napoli put him on. Like, fair enough, he won them the league and all of that.
Yo, look at this market. Right? When you're the best in the market, that's right. You can demand some shit.
You can demand all that, Jim. But
meet him halfway. Ain't nobody about to tell me he got a hard line stance.
Jim, there's so many ways.
Hold on. It's real convenient to take this picture that Osihmen has this wage in his hard line and nobody gonna pay it. Yeah, that's what you say when you don't want to fucking spend money and go get the proper player. And you want to go sign a fucking another mayonnaise, 23-year-old fucking English overhyped garbage. Another fucking garbage.
Jim,
the mayonnaise bit, that's crazy.
Your mic's even good. You see, look, this is the thing.
That's what we're gonna get, man. Another garbage fucking striker, bro.
Jim, the thing that frustrates me about this whole Osihmen thing, right? The thing that frustrates me the most about this Osihmen thing, right, is he basically wants a guaranteed amount on his wage, right? Regardless of bonuses, he wants a guaranteed amount. Whereas Chelsea are pushing more to give this guy the incentives that we've seen the likes of Palmer get. We've seen the likes of Caicedo are gonna get that now. We get Champions League football. All these guys' money is gonna go up by 20%, bro. You watch a lot of American sport. I know you Americans give a lot of bonuses, bro. Yeah, Osihmen. Hold on, Jim. Let me finish my point. Jim, let me finish my point. Right. This team right now, only Liverpool create more chances than Chelsea in the league, right?
I know this.
Osihmen is gonna eat. Hold on, Osihmen is gonna eat, bro. Right? If you believe in yourself that much, bro, take the P's. You're gonna earn more from the bonuses, bro.
Not in this market. This market where nobody has a striker, y'all think he gonna look and be like, yeah, I'm gonna take less money? No. Let me tell you something. You know who we are? I got a new name.
Stop saying you want to come Chelsea then. Stop saying you want
Chelsea. You know who we are? We are Spicy Brighton. That's my new name for you. We are a fucking spicy Brighton. We're a next level up Brighton. That's what I feel like right now. We're a spicy fucking Brighton. Oh, we're gonna buy this, but not buy that. I'm starting to fucking hate. You know how I know I love this club? Because I'm starting to hate it just as much as my teams that I love since I was a kid. I've only been a Chelsea fan for 21 years, and I'm starting to hate it just as much as the teams I've been fans of for 35 and 40 fucking years. That's how I know I'm getting tired of this fucking club. I've never had this feeling with Chelsea. Chelsea was the one sport that I could lean in and be like, yeah. And I'm losing it. And the more and more I look at the future, it just looks more and more.
I think we've got to wait for the summer, Jimmy. We need to see what they're going to do in this window.
Bro, we know what they're going to do, man.
It's a big window. We need to see it first. Let's see what they're going to do, innit?
Bro, the last 2 years has been like Brighton, like on steroids in terms of money, but again, not banging any experienced players, which they've actually done. So Jimmy's right in that sense, but of course, we do need to see the summer because logically, I don't see how we can continue down that model when this is meant to be the season when we're meant to take the next level step forward. If you're going to make that step forward, you have to buy experienced players. You just have to.
Let's not forget they snuck a little 70 million behind the door, or however much they spent for this fucking Portuguese kid. They snuck that in real quick underneath when we wasn't looking.
Hugo.
These man,
where that come from?
These men have showed me already, bro. Once you prove to them, bro, they will pay you. They will up your money quickly, bro.
Yeah, but stop paying these fucking teeny boppers.
Osimen's money will get upped quickly, bro. I've got no doubts about that, bro.
You think hold on, but think about it. You look at Osihmen, right? You just bagged 35 goals in the cut. You got up, you took a shit, take a shit and go score 10 goals. And then you look and see they paying how much for these kids?
Where did he get those 35 goals? Where did he get those 35 goals?
Osihmen has 35 goals.
Where did he get them? Where did he get them?
Galatasaray.
Yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? With kebabs and that. You know what I mean? That's where he went and got
the but what did he do in Italy?
I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying, bro? Yeah.
But he's done it in Italy too. He literally won a league in Italy scoring a hella goal, so that we can't say if he didn't score 35 in Turkey, they'd be like, oh my god, how didn't he score 30 in Turkey? Now he did it. He's like, oh, we did it in a Farmers League. Cool, but he's done it in a proper league.
No, but if you're being cynical, right, about Osihmen,
I don't want to hear the same stuff for Gyökeres, then, innit?
if you're being cynical, you could.
Well, he hasn't done it in a top 5 league, to be fair.
If you're being cynical with Osihmen, right, you could say, and it is kind of a legitimate point, that this guy really has only had one top season in a top 5 league. And that was a season when Napoli won the title. If you look at his other seasons at Napoli, by the way, I'm not saying he's bad, by the way, and I would take him, but if you look at his other seasons at Napoli, there's only one season when he was good at Napoli, and that was when they won the league. The other
I
season,
disagree.
No. It was only one season when he was at world-class level playing football. Let's get it straight. Those other seasons were not bad seasons.
No, they weren't
Those
bad
other seasons, he would have been. Those other seasons, he would have been Chelsea best striker by far.
Yeah, no, I'm not disputing that. But he had one top-class season at Napoli. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if we're going to be
a bagsman, bro. He scores for his country. He's a bagsman. Everywhere he goes, he scored goals. He scored goals in France. He scored goals in Italy. He scored goals in Turkey. He scored goals.
No. I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is, though, it's
17 goals in 23-24. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, 17. Check him. That was only like 28 games or something.
No,
that's a very good return. And the point is, listen, I get what Charlie's saying, right? Like, if you look at most strikers, you're not going to find many world-class seasons unless you're talking about your Lewandowski's, your Benzemas, your like Suarez level guys. Cool. But like, we're in a different era of striker right now. Listen, most of the top guys, you have to actually take the punt on them when they have 1 or 2 good seasons, and then they go and have the rest of their career having top seasons at a big club. We have to take that punt on somebody, whether it's going to be Osihmen, Gyökeres. We have to take that punt on somebody. Just don't make it the Lapo Sesko. I think it's as simple as that.
Let Charlie land.
The big thing with this window,
in Portugal, though.
We all talk about this window being probably the most important window under this ownership, right? And you hear about Chelsea prepared to break the wage structure, sign someone older if it's the right player, right deal, or whatever. My big concern is right now is that obviously there's a long way to go, but all the links are to players that are everything but that. The strongest links was to Dean Huijsen before he went Real Madrid. Then it's Liam Delap. Then it's Sesko. This is all players that are 20, 21, 22. Gittins as well, Garnacho. All guys that don't tick any of the boxes really that we're looking for. And it's like you hear this information, right? Chelsea have allowed that information to go out because that's the information they've given to journalists to put out there. So on the one hand, you can't brief that you're interested in so-and-so player. Oh, by the way, we would have gone for Van Dijk if he was available on a free transfer. Oh, we're prepared to do this and that. Your actions speak louder than words. I'm not saying you're going to get all these top players, right? But if that's what you're saying, right, then you go and say to these players, you give them a decision to make. I'm not saying you're going to get all the ones that you want, but you go to Osihmen, you give him a decision to make. You put something on the table that's respectable, you give him a decision to make. You give Gyökeres a decision to make if that's who you're looking for. You give a top centre-back a decision to make or whatever. The fact is right now is that the same players the players we're being linked with are players that we could get without having Champions League football anyway. So my concern is that even if we get top 5 in Champions League football, that actually the targets aren't really going to significantly change because it's all the same names and they're all project players with potential, which is what we don't need, which is my big concern.
I hear what you're saying.
I want Benjamin Sesko leading my line in the Champions League. You out of your mind, bro?
The thing is, though, Jim, I hear what Charlie's saying to an extent, but at the same time, bro, we didn't know nothing about Neto, bro. Yeah, there was no links.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that just came out of nowhere. We get the bomber. We don't know what these guys are doing back, like in the background, bro. And what I'm seeing as well, I'm reading a few things right now. I'll show the source after, but apparently we're still talking with Osihmen. Big up AJ for the super chat as well. It says Osihmen has to be number 1 priority. Goals, aerial presence, play style elevates everyone. Gyökeres 1A priority, proven goal scorer. Rodrygo and everyone else are secondary, which we all agree with. To those secure striker first, and I agree with that as well, bro. And like I said, people, I'm not against paying Osihmen the money, right? I'm just having a conversation right now, right? Because there's many other clubs in the league that don't want to pay this guy the money. Osihmen right now himself has come out. Mikel's come out, said many times he wants to play for Chelsea. He wants to play for Chelsea. He wants to play for Chelsea. It's not like Chelsea are offering man 50 bags a week. They're still offering him the bag. You know what I mean? And like I said, this guy, I know how I can already see how clear they are in terms of upping people's money and incentives and all of these things. This guy's going to get paid handsomely, bro. That's the point that I'm making. He's going to get paid handsomely regardless. You know what I mean? So is man really going to try to turn down an opportunity because of 30k less a week on a basic when he can make that up in a bonus. You know what I'm saying? He's coming into a team where man's eating, bro. You're playing with Enzo, you're playing with Palmer, Esteval's coming, Neto. All these men are just feeding you, and you're just yamming, bro. That's the point that I'm making. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at that as well, bro. He's going to come into a team where he's getting a lot of chances. So he will be getting his bonuses. He'll definitely be hitting his bonuses, bro.
We all want him, but I think we've got to be honest, right? Unless Chelsea have a massive change of heart, because in the 12 months from last summer where we were aware of the situation to now, unless we change our mind, because I don't think he's going to change his mind because he backs himself, and rightfully, you have to believe in yourself and back yourself, and you think you've got a worth. But ultimately, unless Chelsea change their mind, which if we were going to, we could have done that now, and we could have got this deal wrapped up before the Club World Cup. I suspect it's very unlikely we get this guy.
If that's the case, right? Yeah. And the reason we don't get Osihmen is because of his wages, and we don't want to break our wage structure. What's the excuse for Gyökeres?
Yeah, because he's not asking for over 400k a week. He's not
why are we not looking at that?
I think they know they don't have a chance, so they probably not.
Why don't we have a chance though? We can make Champions League.
Why?
We can make Champions League.
Probably in a better position.
The guy's waiting for the end of the window, at the end of the season.
Every player can't go everywhere, so the team must know how much of a chance they have.
A player will have interest from a number of clubs, right? That's just how it is.
I'm just saying, but so maybe they probably know there's no interest, so they're not even going to bother.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because like you look at Gyökeres, for example, and again, he's another. Him and Osihmen, right, are the two standout names what are available this summer who would come in and make the difference that we need. I think we've established that basically it's down to Chelsea if they want Osihmen. Like if they decide they pay the money, then we've got a very good chance. If we don't, then it's a no-goer and we have to look elsewhere. Gyökeres, for me, like we've done 2 deals with Sporting in March. So surely, I'm not saying right you would have had you would have tried to do a deal then, but surely
I didn't even think about that.
Surely there must have been. Someone must have had an idea at Chelsea doing the negotiations. Oh, whilst we're here, maybe let's just ask and see, put a few feelers out and see what they're saying about this guy. Surely we're not that stupid that we wouldn't have done that.
I think we are.
I agree, bro. I think there's a chance we are that stupid.
I think we've not even looking at him, just going, oh, let's have a look at Delap. He looks really cool. Oh, look, what about Cisco?
But you know what the mad thing is, though, bro? I've got a feeling we're going to miss out on Delap to United. And that, look, I don't, it's not because, I'll be disappointed because Delap's a top quality player. But my thing is, right, is that when you make it so public that you want someone and then you miss out on them, it don't reflect well. If your project, right, can't attract the very sort of player it was kind of designed for or made out for, that is a major problem. If we get Champions League, and let's say Man United get Champions League as well by winning the Europa League, if Liam Delap chooses Man United over us, what does that say about the Chelsea project and stuff that we couldn't attract a player like Delap?
There's a few things about that I've read up. Apparently, he wants to be like back in Manny again because he's obviously money, right? He wants to be a bit. You know what I'm saying? He might look at
how are we going to get back to the top if we're not serious enough to in certain positions to go and get what's the best in the market? How are we ever going to get back there? We're just going to wait until these youngsters become more experienced, and just keep buying them until.
But that's what we're going to do, bro.
But every season you're going to keep bringing in the youngster. Guess what? He's going to be inexperienced. He's still going to need 2 or 3 seasons just to gain experience. So we're just going to have the same ripple effect every time.
Of course, right. And that's why, right? If the summer window, for example, and there's a chance it could be, if the summer window is say Sesko, Mark Gurhey, and Jamie Gittins, right? That could be the summer window. There's a possibility that those 3 could be signings this summer, right? That can't be fully ruled out. If that's the situation, then we're going to have a very similar season to this season where we are struggling to finish in the top 4 or the top 5.
I can't do it.
Those players are good players, but they don't really make us significantly better to move us up the table. Those are players that, they're kind of, you might make a small bit of progress. You might go from a 5th to finishing 4th, but it's not players that will take you from say 4th or 5th to challenging for the title. And that's the problem, is that this summer, what we do is going to dictate whether we're just going to be a club that's happy to compete for 4th or 5th, might pick a trophy up here and there, or whether serious and we're going to challenge for leagues and we're going to push on and show we can compete for major trophies. That's how important it is. We're probably 2 or 3 signings away from being a team that can compete for the title. But the problem is there's no trust from any of us or most fans of Chelsea that these guys will go out there and do the business they need to do.
Bro, we're at a key point right now, bro. The checkpoint. These lot love the data. You love the metrics, right? Check all the fucking metrics and check all the data, and you'll see that we're close to Liverpool. Yeah. So you sort things out in the summer ads to make sure that we get over the line and we're competing with Liverpool. Because start of the season, when we played Slot and Liverpool went to Anfield, Slot came out the other day talking about when we played these guys, you know, I thought they were going to compete with us, bro. Right. And the reason why he thought that was because Jackson was converting chances. Yeah. Had a better conversion rate than Salah. We're playing very well, but we had players fit, Lavia fit, Fofana fit. Fofana wasn't playing that game because he had a yellow card. I think he had 5 yellows or whatever. He couldn't play, right? But we had a fully fit squad, was playing very well, right? But then you've seen the likes of Huijsen, for example. Now, as you've seen Huijsen go into Madrid, you know, I don't know what replacement these guys are gonna get. I'm looking at that Hato guy from Ajax. I'm not too keen on this guy.
That's more a left back, though. He's more of a left back.
Left back, he's a left centre back / left back, bro. Yeah, he's a left centre back who can apparently play at left back.
He'd be a Vega replacement rather than an actual centre back signing. He would be more of a Cucurella backup than an actual out and out centre back.
Bro, I would rather we play what's his name? That Ish Samuel guy.
Samuel Smith. Yeah.
I'd rather him. Hato, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I want guys that can defend their wide areas, bro. And when I'm watching this Hato guy, he's so flat-footed. His foot is so heavy in the ground. He struggles. Every time people are going towards him, it's like he's about to get chefed. I don't want that at the back, bro, because that's jittery. That's going to make guys jittery, bro. Yeah, all of a sudden, you see man just getting done at the back post. Man are just running past him and that. I'm tired of that, bro. I want defenders that can defend. You know what I'm saying, Ads? That's what I want now, bro. Because it looks like we're missing out on Huijsen now as well, bro. And that would have been a good signing for me.
I mean, Huijsen's a good player. And listen, I'm not saying that never buy any young players again. But for me, my priority should be us getting experienced players, getting more physical players. Because again, you look at the issues this season, mainly it's been obviously at times a lack of physicality up front and in the back line. It's been, again, this petulance, which I talked about. Again, back-to-back seasons, we're the team with the most yellow cards in the whole league. That's not because we got a lot of dogs around the team. It's because we got a lot of guys who are immature, who are inexperienced, who are petulant. So, like, these are things we need to go and improve. And Huijsen, as much as he's talented, I think he will do well at Madrid. But he's going to do well at Madrid because he's alongside Rodrygo. That's the main guy in the team. That's the main centre-back there to be the general. We haven't got a general. We've got a lot of lieutenants and people who can do a pretty good job alongside somebody who's serious. But we need to go and get that serious, sturdy guy to be the physical, dominant guy at the back, which we don't have. Same thing that we need up front too. So these are both priority positions. And again, I hear everyone's frustrations. I have the same exact frustrations. I've been so apathetic to this board of late because and nothing had changed from the previous 2 years, so it was awful. But now it's at a point now where there's no reason for it not to change. If we have Champions League, there's literally no excuse. But regardless of Champions League, it's the 3rd season. You have to make a splash. You have to go big and show that, okay, now we actually want to go and win things. Because that was the remit. This season was meant to be we're going to be a bit better, but we're meant to get Champions League next season. All that bullshit. Well, either way, next season, it needs to be a level up. So I expect to level up in the transfer window as well.
100%.
There has to be. There has to be. Like, there's no more excuses now. There can be no more excuses, you know. And I just worry a little bit that we're going to be in a situation where we have another shit window. It's bang average. No players. But the biggest problem for me is that we cannot have another situation where we don't sign any players who improve the first team. I don't need to see any more project players. I don't need to see any more squad players. I need to see players that come in that improve the first team. So some of the guys that are starting in the first team now then become squad players. That's what we need. You need three first team players to come in: striker, winger, centre back. 3 top quality players. You go and do that, and then guys who have been starting regularly become the squad players, and the situation becomes a little bit better. In theory, it's very simple what we need to do. But reality is we've not been serious really in a transfer window for the last 2-3 windows now. So
we're relying on bozos, man. Stuart Winstanley and that other guy, man. They're bozos.
But just to that point, Charlie, you're right. Because literally last summer, we didn't sign anybody who elevated the first team. Like, only Neto's kind of just about made managed to establish himself in the team. But has he really leveled us up? Not really.
Not really. No.
And to be fair, we're quite fortunate. Well, we've not even say, but you look at last summer, for a lot of the big teams, it was poor windows. I mean, United had a poor window. Tottenham only signed Solanke, who's had a meh kind of season. Arsenal, all the players that they signed have been awful. You look at it, Liverpool didn't sign anybody. Man City, they only had to redeem their season in January.
Yeah, City did nothing as well. Yeah, so you look at it, but again, as you're right, last summer you look back at it,
so everybody did, but the point, just one second, but the point I wanted to land on is that obviously everybody had quite a poor window, right? Including us. I feel like that's not going to happen a second window. City are going to, again, they've already done their thing in January. They're going to do more. Arsenal, I mean, I don't know how they can't do something in phase 9 of their project. Again, after getting dumped out by my team here, dumping them out of the Champions League, 2 win, home and away, love that. Listen, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to get some sort of striker, right? Liverpool, I mean, they're good and they should add to what they're going to add to, right? So listen, it's going to, we can't just do what we've been doing and expect us to be enough to one little incremental improvement that might take us back because teams are going to get better in the league. So we need to go big this window.
And this is a good point, as a quick say, Don. Last summer, you look back at it, right? As you said, bro, no teams really had a good summer window out of the top teams. You look back at it and you think that's such a big missed opportunity because if we'd been a bit more serious in that summer window, that could have made a huge difference to our season. Because other than Liverpool, there's been no standout team in the league at all. You look where we were in that first half of the season, right? And we were pushing them. We were in contention. Imagine if we'd gone in January and got someone that could score goals. How much of a difference that would have made? Not even last summer, in January. And then you look at, this summer as well. And you look at the situation with all the teams, right? Arsenal need to bring in a number of players. City are going to be rebuilding. Newcastle, you'd imagine, are going to spend money after not signing anyone really for the last 2 windows. And then there's us as well. You're in a situation, right, where there's a real chance the team who has the best window has got a significant chance of potentially winning the Premier League.
That's what it is.
There's no excuse. Whoever rebuilds best in the summer, I feel, is going to win the league.
That's literally what it is. And I've been banging this song for ages, bro. I was smelling blood start of the season. I was doing a show, big up Matisse and them lot, Tobes, you know what I'm saying, Alexis, Javon. I told these lot, bro, I smell blood. They're all laughing at me. You're delusional. I said, bro, I'm telling you, the quality up there right now, it's not great.
Opportunities.
You know what I'm saying? Opportunity right now. I was telling them, Jimmy, bro, you push for the league right now, you're not going to be scrambling like this. Because when you aim for the stars, you land on the moon, bro. And the moon would have been Champions League football time ago, bruv. Yeah? Now we're getting 2 games in, Jim. We've got Man United, yeah? We're about to play these guys. We don't know who's going to play up top. We're here scrambling. You got Villa behind us, Jim. They've got Spurs coming up who they're going to smoke. And who they got last game of the season?
Man United
away. United, bro.
United away. They're going to win both their games, Jim. So now we've got 2 games left to basically
hold on. Excuse me. Their game against United is how many days after that you...
Before you even come in, yeah? Bro, what's wild about that, bro? Because I was right, HM, yeah? I was right. Arsenal have been shocking, like I said they were at the start of the season, right? Man City, we could have left these guys, right? And they're still near us. They're still near us. They're still inconsistent. Chelsea, inconsistent. The teams around us have not been good. So you can laugh as much as you want, but the reality is I was right. The quality up there's not been good, bro. It's not. But go on, Jim.
Yeah, I don't even know why he even typed that. It's clear the quality hasn't been good.
Go on, Jimmy. Go
on. Yeah, I forgot what the hell I was about to say.
Oh no, the Man United Villa game is so United play United play Europa League final on Wednesday, and then that Villa game is on the Sunday after.
Okay, all right. So yeah, they probably smoked. But it's still a chance because from I was talking, the Villa dude was saying they never beat United in United. So
no, their record there is terrible.
Yeah, so
yeah,
hopefully. But what I'm actually looking for is us to win tomorrow and Villa and Forest drop points. I think that locks us in. If they both
pretty much would do it. Before we finish up on the United game, right? Big up AJ again. Says, how many times have I said we need to enter phase 2 of the recruiting strategy? We have a strong foundation of young, promising players. Need to sprinkle in difference makers now. Alpha striker and centre back. Yeah, you're spot on, bro. Yeah. You're spot on. You know what I mean? And HM again, bro. You're saying too many hypotheticals, bro. It's not a hypothetical, bro. It's not a hypothetical. Liverpool have walked the league. They've walked it, and themselves. Second half of the season haven't even been great. And the reason they've walked it is because everyone around them has been shit. It's a fact, bro.
It's
You know what I mean?
facts that if teams had been more serious in the summer, there would have been more challenges.
Yes, exactly that, bro. You know what I mean? And that's exactly why I smelt blood, because I was looking around and I'm like, bro, there's no one on Liverpool's level. Liverpool are the best of a bad bunch, but they're not the Liverpool I sort of clopping them man there, bro. It's far from that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Jem, we saying for tomorrow anyway, bro. Who do you reckon's gonna start? I just done a show with Saeed, and for me, I think Tyreek George is gonna start up top. You know what I'm saying? Who do you think's gonna start up top, bro?
Neto.
How would you set up to start him up top?
I think he's going to play Neto. He might do it where it's kind of like they're interchanging throughout the game, so they just sort of switch places as you go along. You might see Neto just running up and trying to press, and then Tyreek George might cover the right or the left, wherever he's on, and then you might see Tyreek George pressing forward, and Neto will go off to the right and whatever. I think it'll be quite versatile, to be quite honest with you, and I don't think that's a bad idea really, because they can both do that job. We've seen Neto up front. It's not amazing, but it did problem solve for a certain period through the season when we needed something, because our attack was so just bad, to be quite honest here, until we got to that. But it's going to be. I'd expect it to be Madueke, George, and Neto up front. Where Madueke plays is going to be interesting, because he didn't have the best game against Newcastle off the left. Even though I kind of do like him there at home, he's been quite good off the left, weirdly enough. So will he go right? You know what? We'll keep him on the left, and we'll see if he can obviously use his dribbling ability to get in and out of these tight positions, which he done very well against Liverpool in that game as well. I don't know. But I do think it'll be them three. How he will set them up is I don't know. We'll see.
No, I agree.
Go on, Charlie. Go on, bro.
I agree. I think it's quite obvious. I think the change you make is that Reece James will come in for Jackson, and you have Lavia and Caicedo in the midfield. Yeah. And then really, I think Neto starts down the middle, and then it's basically a decision of...
Wait, hold on. Say Reece James comes in for Jackson?
Well, yeah, he'll come in for Jackson in terms of, not in the position, but in terms of, like... in terms of numbers as such. Do you get what I mean? So like Reece James will play at right back, you push Caicedo into the midfield. He won't come in for Jackson, like I don't quite mean that, but like he'll obviously, I think Neto will start as a 9. I think you have Madueke. So what's the
midfield then? Because someone has to drop out of the midfield to start Reece at right back.
Yeah, someone's gonna to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if George didn't start.
So that means Palmer plays in the wing.
Oh, he's saying Palmer right. Okay, I did
Palmer on the right.
To get it out of your head, bro.
No, I play Palmer on the right. Sorry, I play Palmer on the right, Noni on the left, and then have Neto down the middle, and you can kind of just rotate that as a bit of a fluid front three where Palmer could do a little bit of false nine, maybe try Noni. I think you could try it, because the fact that George got no minutes at Newcastle, I'm not saying he's not going to start in this game, but I think he will go with Neto down the middle purely because that's what he'd done earlier in the season when we had no one available.
The thing is, we've got Mark Gill back now. You know what I'm saying, Ads? Yeah, Mark Gill is back. Yeah. I don't think
he's back. Maresca said he's not back.
Bro, he won't play. He won't play tomorrow. He won't play.
I think he might be on the bench, bro. I think he might be on the bench, man.
Maresca said it in the press conference. He's not ready.
He's not playing. He's not ready yet. Okay, first, I haven't seen any of the quotes, right? But Ads, what are you saying about Palmer right wing, man? Because what it is for me, people, right? It's not to say that I'm against it. What it is, Maresca has literally played Palmer right wing first game of the season, and he played him against Villa. They're the only 2 games we've seen it. So when people say Palmer right wing, I'm like, you guys are preparing yourself to get mad, because I don't think we're going to see it. Bro.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the question is, what do you think the manager's going to do? And I mean, I liked what Jem was saying. I also like what Charlie was saying, but like, it's all very idealistic, but we've just not seen it this season. Like Jem was talking about the front 2 rotating, and like 1 minute Neto's there, then he's there. Like, we've never seen Maresca allow the wingers and strikers to switch position like that. That just doesn't happen. So ultimately for me, I mean, the only 3 attackers we have really is Noni, George, and Neto. So like, it really should be George up front. He's had some decent games up front. And obviously Neto on the right, Noni on the left. That's probably our most potent attack. But it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't start George and he actually started Dewsbury Hall. And again, I feel like he started Dewsbury Hall false 9 against Brighton, one of the 2 games that we got packed in. But I feel like that may be an option just because again he's a more experienced person. He maybe isn't trusting George. Maybe wants George to be off the bench as an impact player, which I personally would just start George. But again, if I'm predicting what the manager's going to do, I think he might not trust George. He might start Dewsbury Hall, and then obviously keep it with how he's been keeping it with the wings, isn't it? And also, if he's going to start any right back, a natural right back, it's not going to be James because we know the manager's not feeling James like that. He had the illness. Apparently, he's over it, which is cool. But if he's going to start a right back, it's probably going to be Gusto, to be honest.
Let me just put something out there, right? Because obviously we build in a free, right? How about this, guys? If we want to start Palmer in the midfield, right? The other option we've got is to drop Chalobah, right? And start Reece at right centre back next to Colwell. So then you still got Caicedo who can basically invert from right back with Reece James at right centre back with Levi Colwell at left back. But on the ball, you're gonna have Caicedo going into the midfield. So Reece will basically be playing like a right back, pretty much. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's another way you could have them.
I hear it, but I just don't like the idea of trying to shoehorn James into positions that he's not best in. Like he's not best in midfield. He's not best in centre back. He's best as a traditional right back. But we don't play that system there. So I hate that. But it's like if we're not going to play him in his best position, then I don't think playing him centre back makes sense. Especially because Chalobah was actually very good He did very good the last few weeks, to be honest. I wouldn't change that at all. I would keep Chalobah and Colwell as it is. Again, personally, I would start people in the chat saying, "Oh, you want to start Dewsbury Hall?" No, I don't. I didn't say that. I said I think that's probably what might happen. No, I would personally start George.
We're talking about what Maresca might do here, people. We're talking about what he might do. Go, Charlie.
Yeah, random in the chat. Listen, like, subscribe, and listen. Simple.
Comprehension, bro. I'm telling you.
No, like you absolutely could see Dewsbury Hall starting, but you could also see him pushing Enzo Fernandez to play as a number 10 as well, pushing him higher up the pitch. There's definitely that possibility as well. You know, we've seen him do that, push him higher up the pitch. So, yeah, there's a number of options available, but I think it's going to be pretty standard. I think we know who's going to play, and we're just going to have to hope for the best, basically.
You there, Charlie?
We say hope. Is it? Are we really having to hope against United? Should it not be a guaranteed win? Like, how are we actually?
It should be a guaranteed win, but we got to be honest. Our record against United is terrible. And as bad as they are, there's still a small part of me that feels somehow we could fumble this. Like there's a little part of me. Look, I'm fully expecting a win and 3 points and a relatively straightforward evening. But I think we have to probably accept and think that, you know what, there's a little chance where we could fumble it.
Bro, this is why we need to score quickly, bro. Jim, we need to fucking score first, and make sure that we don't fuck about like last year, because we was 2-0 up against these lot, these bastards. Was 2-0 up against them, they came back. If you guys remember, Caicedo made a mad mistake, and I think Bruno scored the second goal. Garnacho scored against us. He loves scoring against us.
And Anthony scored as well.
Anthony, you absolutely chefed up Cucurella. Cucurella was having an absolute stinker that game, bruv. You know what I mean? We need to score first, Jim, man. What are you expecting, Jim? Are you confident, Jimmy, like that we're going to beat United, bro? The man laughed.
6-0. Nah, but we should beat them now. Like, because I think we're gonna see. I keep saying it on every stream. I expect to see like number 78, number 67, number fucking 55, number 144 at right back. I expect to see a lot of kids out there for Man U. You know what I mean? So
they got injuries too. They got no Euro or Delit.
Yeah, they tend to no Delit, no Euro. And why would they play any other starters? Like, I expect to see they bums like Mason Mount and those guys.
But the thing is, Amrim's kind of said that he's not gonna basically play.
No one.
He's gonna put out a decent team, bro.
Yeah, I don't think he puts out no decent team. Not with the final 4 days later. Why would he do that?
No, I'd be shocked if there was more than 2 or 3 players in the team that start tomorrow that will start on Wednesday.
Exactly.
I'd be very surprised. You
like
pretty
they
get
probably
Bruno
put Onana in there, which is perfect.
And no, that's it.
Yeah.
And this is where
they've got such a dead defense that if we can't put one goal
past it's criminal. So bad.
Exactly.
Chelsea are I can't lie, bro. I can't lie.
Boys, Chelsea are the only team that will make that defense look like prime Chelsea of 04. 04.
Yeah. Listen, Jem. We've seen these players bottle it against Liverpool's academy players, bro, in the cup final. So I'm not putting anything past these man. And listen, I hate United. They've been dead. They've been dead this season. It was on Poch, but the players coming. The players bottled that team.
Nah, we gotta. We gotta tell ourselves. Poch tax.
Yeah.
That half an hour was fucking Poch, bro. I can't believe that final still.
Oh, the extra time where it was criminal. That was criminal. Like saying that we need to pay for a draw. That was crazy.
You know what's about that?
That was crazy.
Poch actually set us up to win. Gallagher blew it actually.
Gallagher blew it towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that stupid hippo, man brought on Noni and Mudryk and told these guys to sit back. I've never seen a manager bring on attackers and told them to sit back, but that was crazy.
But the point I was trying to make is that like United, as much as they've been shit, their record in big games is actually better than ours. Like they've won at the Etihad. Again, a lot of their away performances in big games, they've actually dug in and been good off the ball and made it just stuck the place out and made it difficult for teams. Again, they should have won at Anfield. Maguire missed a sitter in the last minute. They won in the cup against Arsenal at the Emirates. So like they've got some pretty good performances away from home. There's no pressure on them. They're gonna rotate a bit. I don't think they rotate everybody. Bruno will probably play just to like get players like just in that match rhythm for the cup final. And they're gonna come with a kind of a point to prove and kind of that pressure off them. So listen, that's not an easy game for us. I feel like we're gonna have it difficult, and we can't afford to have any slip ups. So this one we cannot slip up. We can't.
We can't take it lightly. That's what I'm saying. We can't walk in there and think, yeah, we're just gonna beat these guys. But that's how you lose. You know what I mean? If you go into
and just to that point as well, like we have to go into the Forest game ahead of them. Like we can't go into that game and they just need like a draw to get Champions League, because then we're gonna be screwed at that point. We need to go there already ahead.
We need West Ham to do us a favour there on that one. And Jared Bowen hat-trick against Forest.
If West Ham win and Tottenham win and we win, we're through. Yeah.
You know what's so frustrating about this, bro? That Ipswich, bro, the Ipswich game, bro. Like,
was that 34 shots? That was that game, wasn't it?
Yes, bro. That game, man.
Well, wait, which one?
And the thing is, the people that want Maresca out, they keep bringing up these Ipswich results, But for me, it's not even just Ipswich. I can think of bare games where I'm like, yo, Bournemouth.
Fulham? How about Fulham?
Fulham. Remember Fulham, Jim? Yeah, Fulham. I can think of Bournemouth, 5 big chances in the first half.
Palace home and away.
Bro, remember Brentford, bro? Jackson, Enzo Fernandez plays him a nice pass. Man, just I don't know what he tried to do. He tried to just the goal is right there.
Even like Aston Villa away, you have like 1 extra point if Jorgensen don't fumble it, or you maybe have 3 more points if Palmer scores. Yeah, these are the fine margins that we're dealing with, and unfortunately, we've been on the wrong end of them fine margins.
100%, bro. And listen, people, we've still got 221 people in the house. It's been a fucking lit show, man. The numbers are growing. Like I said, I'm nearly on 7K people. So keep subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you're following the man there. Make sure that you're following Charlie, subscribing to him. Follow Jem. Same thing as Ads. Same thing as Jimmy. Has anyone got anything coming up they want to plug?
Yeah. I ain't got anything to plug. I just want to say bun Man United. Yeah. And bun Chelsea if they don't get the job done. But you know what? I feel like this is that game. You know, that game where we just need that result. And the fact that we won that Liverpool game, but I don't think people realize how big that game could be if we beat Man United because of what happened at Newcastle. Yeah.
100%.
So, we have to go and get it done. I'm expecting us to go and win this. I don't know by how many goals. All I care about is the W. I don't care about the performance. I don't care if we're crap for 60 minutes. Just win. I don't care.
Bro, listen. Last time Palmer played them, he got a hat trick, and I want him to turn up because these United fans, Saeed and all these lot. Oh, Palmer, come back home. What? Because Palmer grew up a United fan and he said he likes Rooney. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. He's locked into the 2030s. It's death row over here, baby. You know what I mean? In a bit, people. Love.